Hi everyone. So I started my journey about 6 months ago, and the fact that anyone at all started watching my videos is amazing and I can't thank you enough. And since Christmas is here, I know we all want to celebrate with family and friends, so I decided to make my top 5 most viewed phone restorations videos of this year. This compilation wouldn't have happened if you guys didn't watch these videos, so again, thank you very much. Merry Christmas everyone. I hope the warmth of your home brings joy to you, your families and friends. See you on New Year's!
Hey everyone, I hope you're all having an absolutely fantastic day. Today, hopefully I have something exciting for you, restoring this gold Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. This phone was such a hit when it first came out, and it really kickstarted the trend of curved displays, which we still see being replicated by other companies today. In my personal opinion, it's truly a legendary phone that completely revolutionized the smartphone market with its impressive innovations. So here when I connected the charging cable, nothing happened, so I assumed that the battery was toast. Now I have to admit the unit I have here is in pretty bad shape. In order to restore it, I've got some parts from AliExpress. In order to gain access to the internals, the back glass has to be removed. This time I skipped using heat because I don't have to be careful. Not using heat definitely made it a lot trickier to remove, and there were shards of glass flying around everywhere. Oh, and please don't forget to protect your eyes whenever you deal with broken glass. Safety first, guys. Now with the back glass successfully removed, my next task was to clean up the remaining adhesive from the frame. Once I got rid of all the glass shards from my mat, I removed the SIM tray and started unscrewing the Phillips screws that held the brackets in place. There were a total of 12 screws, all the same size. Moving on to removing the brackets, the top one just flew off and hit my cat. Just kidding, no animals were harmed during the making of the video. Now it was time to remove the rest of the brackets. Once that was taken care of, I began disconnecting everything from the top and bottom board. The plan was to transfer the motherboard to a new frame assembly, which would also house the new display and some other components. Speaking of which, check out this shiny new display and frame assembly. Before fitting it all in, I had to remove the earpiece from the old frame, and I actually had another S7 Edge lying around, so I grabbed the battery and some other components from there just in case. Next we'll assemble the phone enough just to test it. Oh, and I have a little exercise for you. Can you spot the defect on the new display assembly? Let me know in the comments if you find it. There will be a few more opportunities to catch it later on in the video. After reconnecting everything, it was time to test if the touch and screen were in good working condition. And I'm happy to report that they performed flawlessly, which meant it was finally time to put things back together. First, I moved the charging port screws to the new frame, followed by the RF cables. Next, I placed the vibration motor and proximity sensor flex in their respective spots. I also gave the earpiece a good cleaning before placing it back in the frame. Always clean the nasty bits, guys. Then I took the headphone jack assembly from one of the other phones and secured it in the new frame with screws. After that, it was time to reconnect the motherboard to the subboard and carefully place it down. Once all the connectors were reattached, I removed the protective film from the battery adhesive and connected the working battery to the board. With that done, I put back the brackets and screwed them down. To ensure that our new back glass would adhere properly, I cleaned the frame with a bit of alcohol. Then I placed the brand new back glass in its position and applied pressure on all sides. To make sure everything stayed in place, I used some rubber bands and holding clamps. After a while, I carefully removed them and reinserted the SIM tray. I'll admit it doesn't fit as perfectly as it should, but hey, this is an AliExpress frame, it isn't exactly original quality. But that's okay, we can work with it. Now a few more steps, and then we can wrap this up. After removing the screen protective film, I gave the phone a thorough cleaning and finally powered it on. I ran a few extra checks just to make sure everything was still working perfectly. Oh, and did you manage to spot that defect I mentioned earlier? It pops up a few times around here and might catch your eye. Feel free to let me know if you found it. And there you have it, the complete restoration of the S7 Edge, a truly iconic phone, using some parts we found on AliExpress. Gotta admit, the materials might not be top notch, and there's this little issue I'll leave you to discover, but hey, we managed to make this old beauty shine like new without breaking the bank. And I'm not gonna lie, it was all worth it just to restore this awesome phone for you all. Thanks a ton for tuning in, hope you had a blast watching this restoration unfold. Be sure to show your love by leaving a like and subscribing, because I've got more incredible videos like this one coming your way every week. You guys are seriously amazing for sticking till the end. Well, that's all from me now. Catch you in the next one, stay safe and keep spreading those positive vibes. Take care and bye for now.
How's it going, everyone? Today I have something super exciting, an iPhone 8 Plus complete restoration. We're gonna change the screen, the charging flex, and move every single thing to a new housing. I had over 4 hours of footage and I condensed it for you into a more watchable time, so I'd really appreciate you if you like and subscribe. Thanks! You can see this phone had quite the adventure since it was made. Cracked front glass, ruined the back glass, and the frame is falling apart. It also has bottom microphone issues, which we will address by changing the charging port flex. So let's start with removing the two pentalobe screws located at the bottom of the phone. Continuing with placing a suction cup on the display and prying it open. Oh, and I also took out the SIM tray before I started. I am using a thin metal prying tool to help with creating a gap and carefully go around the display
to release it from the housing. Lifting up the screen, we can begin removing the screws from the metal brackets that keep the screen connectors in place. With the screen removed, we can begin to unscrew the screen components that have to be transferred, which include the metal shield, earpiece and sensors, and the home button. This piece of tape is important because it keeps that chip in the right spot, otherwise you won't be able to close the phone back up without bending the screen. Here you can see me carefully and slowly removing the sensor's flex to avoid damaging it. These flex assemblies are fragile and quite strongly adhered. This is our new display. I'm going to transfer the components temporarily to make sure we have a working screen before going any further. Want to see more of my videos? You can click on the pop-up banner above, which will take you to my phone restorations playlist, where you will see amazing restorations for phones such as the Galaxy S7 Edge, S8, the iPhone 11 Pro, or the Huawei Nova 5T. And don't forget to comment below on your thoughts about this restoration. I answer all comments, so let's chat. The home button is now also transferred and connected to our new screen. Now we can reconnect the display and check if there are no problems with it, and also check if the touchscreen responds as it should. Everything looks in top shape, so let's assemble the screen fully so we can move on to taking the rest of the phone apart. I removed the plastic protector and placed the shield back. Now we can start screwing everything in place. And our screen is now assembled. So the first thing that we want to get out is the motherboard. But to do that, we have to remove a lot of tiny components and screws and disconnect all the connectors that are attached to it. This is the tricky part, because you have to keep track of every single screw and component, and some are so small you can barely see them if you lose them. With the board out, I removed the cameras and moved to the bottom where the speaker and Taptic engine is. Some dirt managed to get to the speaker, so I gave it a clean with a brush. Now to the battery. I tried removing it from the pull tabs, but as usual that was pointless, so I just used isopropyl alcohol. The alcohol will break down the adhesive underneath, and the battery can be removed without damaging it. It will bend, but it can be flattened back. With the battery out, I can remove the charging port flex. This is the defective piece, which we will replace with a new one. It's held down with adhesive and screws. Now the speaker and microphone gaskets as well as the meshes have to come out, because the new housing does not have them pre-installed. We also have to remove the holding mechanisms for the screen and transfer them. These are what actually holds the screen in place instead of just adhesive like on Android phones. It's also important to remember how they are oriented. The next thing to remove is the buttons flex, which is adhered and screwed to the frame. I will also move this graphite sticker to the new housing. Now I can remove the button springs and holding brackets because you guessed it, they have to be transferred. This is the new frame which we're going to use. One thing left is to move the wireless charging coil to the new housing. If you enjoyed the video so far, hit that like and subscribe button. It's free and helps me upload more videos like this. Thanks for your support. I am gently going around the coil with flat tweezers while making sure I don't go too deep to avoid damage. Sticking the wireless charging coil to the new housing, we're done with the old phone exterior. You can see me here placing back the button brackets with the springs. These things are tiny, which makes them hard to work with. If you want to see how to change the battery on an iPhone 11, you can click on the pop-up banner above. It's a quick and easy replacement and it will fix phone slowness or overheating. I'm also placing the meshes and gaskets at the bottom of the phone, after which I can also place the buttons flex and lock them in place. As you can see to this point, the whole process is extremely complex and hard to follow. If you want to attempt this, I suggest you look up detailed guides online. They should have screw types and sizes and which thing goes where. Now I can place back the screen holding mechanisms. And here's our new charging flex, which will fix the microphone issue the phone had, and as a bonus the charging port is new as well. All I have to do is remove all the plastic protectors from it and position it in place. If it's not placed properly, you might find that you can't connect it to the motherboard and you'll have to take everything out again and reposition it. We can now start placing back what we took out of the old housing, such as the speaker and the Taptic engine, and every single tiny screw and component. What do you guys think? Is Apple over-engineering iPhones on purpose to make them hard to repair, or do you consider their design necessary? I'd love to see your opinion. And don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. I upload videos like this every week, so make sure you also ring the bell to be notified when a new video is out.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
I've sped up the reassembly a bit because it's the same as before and I didn't want to take more of your time. With the motherboard in and the cameras, you can see the phone is starting to take shape. I wanted to clean some of the components a bit with alcohol, and I forgot the Taptic engine was actually coated in something instead of having stickers, so I made it look even worse. Anyway, time to place the new adhesive on the battery and insert it into the phone.
It sound right, boys.
After removing the plastic protector, I will connect the battery first before placing it because I want to make sure I can connect it to the motherboard. A few more brackets and screws later, we can test if the phone still actually works, so fingers crossed. And yep, looks like it's still alive. Time to finish it up. Gonna add the new water and dust protective adhesive to the frame and finish off assembling the last pieces of the phone. I wanted to take a moment here and thank everyone that subscribed to the channel. At this point, YouTube is a hobby for me and I'm doing it in my spare time. But it's so much fun and uplifting to upload videos to you guys, and who knows, with your help, this might become my full-time job one day. So thank you. Before closing the phone, I cleaned it on the inside, and don't worry, I didn't forget that screw. I tend to lose at least one because they are tiny, so I have backups laying around. Bringing the display and frame together, we can screw back our two pentalobe screws and power on the phone.
It sound right, boy.
Removing the screen protective film, we can finally see our beautiful new display. And that's it, everybody. We fully restored this iPhone 8 Plus. This was the most challenging video for me to make up to this point, and if you made it this far, thank you. It means the world to me. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons, comment, share, all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye!
Ah, the iPhone X. 10? The pinnacle of human engineering. Oh wait, people didn't like this back then. And apparently the phone sold only 16 million units, comparing to the iPhone 6, which apparently sold around 200 million units. So was it the notch? The price? What do you think? Comment below. In any case, this particular phone suffered over its lifetime, so let's give it an amazing makeover. Hi everyone, I'm the Restore Geek and welcome to my iPhone X restoration. First things first, we have to remove the two pentalobe screws next to the charging port. This phone was opened before, so there's no need to apply heat in this case to remove the screen. I'm using a thin metal prying tool and then slowly go around the edges with a plastic tool. There we go, the screen is off. The next step is to remove the metal bracket covering the connectors. With that removed, we have to access the connectors, so let's disconnect the battery, followed by the three screen connectors. After that, we can simply disconnect everything else from the logic board. Next is the camera assembly. You might be wondering why I'm starting to remove components. Well, you'll see later why, but it's essential to protect the components from what's to come. Here, when I removed the cameras, the flash flex got stuck to them for some reason and ripped the power button cable when I lifted them. A bit annoying. I don't have a replacement now, but I'll replace it at a later time. Moving on, it's time to remove the battery, the Face ID module, and the logic board. Here the screw holder was ripped out of the housing, most likely from the impact the phone suffered. Shouldn't affect anything though. To get the battery out, we have to remove the bottom components as well, which are the Taptic engine and the speaker. With those out of the way, we can finally take the battery out. Next is the reason I took out those components, which is removing the back glass. Now I am using a toothbrush with some isopropyl alcohol to clean any remaining glue and glass particles, after which we can add adhesive and place the new back glass. If you enjoyed the video so far, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, or don't, but if you do, you'd make me really happy. After aligning the glass with the frame, I'll use some rubber bands to keep it in place. While the adhesive is still somewhat fresh, I start removing any excess that spilled out. This can be done later, but it will be much harder to remove. After the adhesive had some time to cure, I can remove the rubber bands and the protectors that cover the logos. Moving forward, I also removed the old adhesive that held the display and cleaned the sides because they are disgusting. Oh, let me know in the comments if you prefer iPhones or Android phones. Now we can start the reassembly, beginning with the bottom components, the Taptic engine and the speaker. I'll also add new adhesive to the battery and place it down in the frame. Next is the logic board, and our iPhone is starting to take shape again. Now I'm gonna reconnect everything except for the battery. I'm using an air spray to blow away any dust that might have settled on the camera lenses, after which I place the flash. Even though it's useless now, I'll put it down for aesthetics until I get a replacement. After that, I also put the cameras back. I have a new seal for the display ready, but since I have to open the phone again later to change the power button and the flash flex, I won't waste it now. Now I can prepare our new display. I'll move the earpiece and sensors flex from the old screen to the new one to keep Face ID functionality. What did you think of the notch when the X came out? Did you like it or did you hate it? Comment below. Next, I place the camera bracket in its position and connect our new screen. After that, I can reconnect the battery and screw down the metal bracket after giving a little clean to everything.
Now we can position the display in the frame from the top and gently pressing on the sides until it pops in place. Now I can screw back the two pentalobe screws, and since we killed the power button, I'll have to connect the lightning cable to turn the phone on. And after a quick test, the screen and touch are working flawlessly. So there you have it. We've restored this iPhone X into a gorgeous phone again. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe buttons, comment down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye! This is an iPhone 11 Pro, and we're gonna make it look amazing again by changing the screen and also changing its battery. You can see the glass covering the Face ID is missing completely and it's cracked all over the place, while the sides and the back look absolutely fantastic. So let's start restoring this iPhone 11 Pro and make it look brand new. Thumbs up and let's go. So the first thing we're gonna do is turn off the phone. Next, we'll just remove the two pentalobe screws at the bottom, and then we can open it up. To lift the screen up, I'll use a metal prying tool and a plastic prying tool and just go around the phone until the screen lifts up. Lifting up the screen, we have our first look inside the phone. To make our life easier, I want to remove the screen from the logic board. But first, I also have to disconnect the battery. And to remove those connectors, we have to also remove these metal shields. Now that the battery is disconnected, we can move on to removing the screen. Just look at how much dust got on that Face ID module. Wow. Now it's time to remove the old battery. I'll pour isopropyl alcohol on different spots because that helps loosen the adhesive and helps me get the battery out way faster. Oh, and there's another battery connector here right next to the Taptic engine, which we have to disconnect as well. And now I'll just pry it and lift it up. Let me know in the comments just how much percentage your battery has right now. Now that the battery is out, you can see the standoff screw is loose. So I'll just tighten it up. Now let's clean that dirty Face ID module from all the dust and the dirt it got on it. Now you can see me removing the old adhesive from the screen, and then I'll just use alcohol to clean up the frame.
Now it's time to prepare the new battery and place it inside our phone. If you want to see other great videos just like this one, you can click on the pop-up banner above to go to my phone restorations playlist. There you will find amazing restorations, so go ahead and have a look. Thanks! Now we can just place the battery back inside the phone and reconnect everything in reverse. Now it's finally time to move on to our new screen, which we have to test first, but before that we have to move the earpiece to our new screen. And judging by the look of it, it's gonna need a clean as well. Now we can simply place it back on the new screen and screw it down. Time to connect it to the logic board and give it a test. Plugging the charger in, we see the Apple logo, and soon after the screen turns on. And after some quick testing, we can start to begin the full reassembly. First I'll take the screen out again, then I'm gonna use some air just to clean up any dust that's left behind, and then I'll just add a waterproof seal. Now I can reconnect the screen, the battery, and finally close the phone up. I start by placing it from the top and then go around the sides until I hear pops. Now we can add the final two screws, and we're almost done. I just have to clean the speaker and microphone holes first. We've done it, everybody. We restored this amazing iPhone 11 Pro back to its glory. We changed the screen, We also changed its battery, and now it's gonna work just like new. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
Are you ready for a jaw-dropping transformation? Check out how I turned this Galaxy S8 from a total wreck into a brand new phone. This phone looks like it fought in a war and lost. So stick around till the end for the full restoration. And don't forget to subscribe for more amazing videos like this one. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm sure you can see how bad this phone looks. It doesn't turn on, it won't charge, and I have no clue how it got into the shape it is. But I am open to theories. So I got a new display and frame from AliExpress, and they also threw in this back glass for free. Well, you can see why it's free, because it's actually used. But surprisingly, the exterior looks almost new, so I'm not even mad. Alright, let's get started with our makeover, shall we? I don't need to use any heat here, because the back glass is already cracked. But if yours is still intact, make sure you heat it up before you pry it open. And be careful with the fingerprint sensor, you don't want to damage the cable. Once the back glass is off, we can move on to the screws. All screws are Phillips and there are 14 of them that need to go. After taking out the screws, we can pop off the plastic bracket and disconnect everything we can see, starting with the battery. Wow, look at how dirty the bottom bracket is, and the water damage sticker is pink. That means water got inside. But luckily it didn't reach the motherboard. We still have a chance to save this phone, and I'll clean these parts up later. For now, let's unscrew the remaining 6 screws and continue with the teardown. Hey, are you enjoying the video so far? If you are, please hit that subscribe button and show some love. Also, leave a like and a comment. I'd love to hear from you. You guys are awesome and I appreciate your support so much. Thank you. Now let's take a look at our water damaged components. The subboard looks pretty bad. I'm gonna use some isopropyl alcohol to get rid of the dirt and corrosion and just hope for the best. And while I'm at it, I'll also clean up the other parts that were affected by the broken screen. Now we can put some of the components back just to test the screen. We just need to reconnect the ports, the proximity sensor, the battery and the wireless charging coil. If you don't place the wireless charging coil correctly, you might get a heat warning and it won't charge. And you will see what I mean in a bit. And there's the warning. But after a small adjustment, you can see the phone is alive again and charging. That's awesome! It actually works again. Playing with the touch seems to be working just fine and the screen looks great too. Good job, AliExpress, you saved me a lot of money today. Now we can finish putting this phone back together. Time to peel off the plastic protectors from the frame and reinstall our components for good. Did you ever have an S8 series phone? How did you like it? Let me know down in the comments. I had some bad experience with Samsung phones. Well, I never had the flagships because I couldn't afford them. But the ones I owned had terrible battery life, so I usually had Huawei phones until they were basically nerfed. Speaking of Huawei, if you want, you can check out my last video where I restored the Huawei Nova 5T by clicking on the pop-up banner above. Thanks! Now I'm cleaning the bottom bracket with the speaker because it has some old adhesive on it and put everything back in place. Now I also cleaned the wireless charging coil because it also has some adhesive on it. And now we're almost done, just a few more screws to go. After putting back our screws, I try to clean up as best as possible the inside with alcohol, and I can move on to the back glass that needs some work before I can stick it to the phone. I'm not gonna remove all the adhesive because I don't want to scratch it, but I am removing the adhesive around the edges because we'll use a new pre-cut adhesive to hold it in place. After putting the fingerprint sensor frame on our new back glass that is also old, we add new adhesive and press the back glass firmly. To make sure it stays in place, I use some rubber bands and clamps. After a while I can take them off and we can polish the phone and turn it back on. Speeding through the setup process, we can do a final check of the screen to make sure we didn't damage anything during our assembly. And there you have it, guys, we did it. We restored this phone from a disaster to a phone that looks like it got out of the factory. It was smashed all over, plus water damaged. And now it works like new. I hope you had fun watching the video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. More videos like this come out every single week. I had so much fun restoring this phone. I hope you guys did too. See you next time. Bye guys.